You may have heard over the past couple days that Voyager Digital is a company that has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And your YouTube feed may be full of videos suggesting videos about that or talking about people that hyped the stock and advertised for the stock and were sponsored by the stock and how they were all wrong. So if you're not familiar with them, Voyager was a crypto platform that was getting a lot of hype and a lot of growth because they had a very strong offering as far as how much they were willing to pay you to lend them your crypto. So you put money on their platform, you stake it, and they pay you an incredible return. And a lot of YouTubers were promoting the stock, were investing in the stock, promoting the platform and the company, and encouraging people to participate. Now, I didn't actually participate in any way. I wasn't a Voyager customer. I wasn't an investor. You know, it's very easy to say now that I didn't believe in it. It's easy to say that. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then. I didn't make a video about it. I didn't announce that to the world. I just simply voted with my dollars and did not invest, did not participate in their brokerage in any way. But one of the people that was very public about his belief in Voyager was Jeremy Lefebvre from Financial Education Channel. And he invested in the company, and he made many videos about it. And over the past few days, you've probably seen quite a few videos that are dedicated to just dunking on him, just totally destroying him, calling him every name in the book, accusing him of being a pump and dump scam artist, hype promoter. And he came out with a video on the day that Voyager went bankrupt, and he owned it. And in the video, he refers to the other people that are dunking on him, doing a touchdown dance in the end zone, just celebrating the fact that he was wrong and that he lost a ton of money. There are 5 things that I think everyone should learn from this situation, and I'm going to share them with you now. Number 1, Jeremy owned his loss very publicly, openly, and immediately. And you got to respect that. You know, a lot of YouTubers make a lot of content and they never show you what they actually invest in. They may make a lot of videos talking about particular companies and never actually invest in them. Or whether they invest in them or not, you never know. And so you never know, did they make money on that investment? Did they end up taking a loss? They never make it public and they never show you. And so for someone like him that has a brand that is totally dedicated to stock investing, to be open and public and own his loss right away, that's huge. You got to give him respect. You got to give him credit for doing that. And for anyone that thinks that that's easy or it should be easy for him, let me ask you, do you have a YouTube channel? It is intimidating to turn on the camera and point it at your face, to put yourself out there, to put your voice on camera, to put yourself out on a public forum like YouTube and open to criticism and just be transparent. And that's when things are good. It's incredibly hard to do that when things are bad. And when you have a specific case like Voyager going bankrupt, that's got to be so hard to turn on the camera and say, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to own it. So give them credit for that. All right, lesson number 2. There are people that take the high road and then there's everybody else. And this is something, again, I'll give Jeremy respect for. There have been several times over the last few years that I have watched his videos where there are people that are dunking on folks or companies or situations, and he really tends to try to take the high road. Now, I wouldn't say 100%. There have been a couple videos that I thought were kind of on the line or maybe over the line, but there have been several situations or videos where I felt like it would be very easy for him to take a victory lap and shame somebody, shame different people. One particular instance that comes to mind is Nikola. You know, in the early days, it wasn't obvious to everyone that Nikola was a smoke and mirrors fake company. Okay, a lot of people were out there hyping Nikola stock, investing in Nikola stock, and really promoting it. There were whole channels that were doing that. Jeremy came out and did a video talking about it fairly early on before it was obvious that it wasn't a valid company. It wasn't a good investment. And he talked about it, but he was very humble, very just kind of straightforward. I think you need to be concerned. I think you need to be very careful. and good luck if you're investing in it. And then afterwards, it wasn't like he was celebrating the fact that people were wrong, but he talked about after Nikola went down, here's what I said back then, and if you lost a ton of money on that, I hate to hear that. To anyone who got out in time and maybe even made money, congratulations. It wasn't like he was celebrating that people were getting crushed. So again, I appreciate people that will take the high road. All right, point number 3, the mob, everyone else, you know what they're doing this week? They're kicking somebody while they're down. They're actually like spiking the football on his face. Oh, what a scam artist. Oh, I'm glad that he lost his money. I hope he loses tons of subscribers because nobody should follow this guy. Now, this video isn't for them. This video is for you. I want to ask you, if you have people like that in your video feed, if you subscribe to people like that and you've watched a couple of those videos just show up because YouTube knows you like them, I want to ask you, what are you learning from those guys? Because I actually did a search after Jeremy's video and I wanted to actually watch. What were they saying? What were they doing? And really, honestly, I didn't find any of the guys that I normally follow doing that. Every single one of the videos that popped up when I searched for that were people that I've never heard of before. I don't watch, but I watched them that day. I watched those videos. And I don't want to tell you their names because I don't want to encourage you to go search them up. I don't want to give them any more views than they're already going to get. But I want to ask you, if you're spending your time watching that kind of stuff, whoa, he finally got it. He got what he deserved. He lost all his money. Whoa, yeah. Are you just watching it for entertainment? Because that's all it is. It's not like you're learning to be a better investor from somebody like that. And I think people that are coming to this channel are interested in making money. They're interested in learning to invest more. And so I just want to ask you, if you're seeing the YouTube creators that you normally watch pushing that kind of content, aren't you just wasting your time? That is so toxic, and they're not teaching you anything valuable. One of the other things I want to point out, almost every one of them would, during their video, say, and I warned you about this. I knew that Voyager was a scam, but you know what? When you go back and you look at their history, the video that they made warning about Voyager was like a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago, last week. Everybody knew it was in trouble then. It's down 80-something%. Oh, maybe it's not going to work out. I'll go ahead and make a video. Way to go. Thanks so much for the helpful tip. Where's your video in March of 21 when Jeremy was making his videos about investing in Voyager? And don't forget, there are a lot of other YouTubers that were making those videos. There were a lot of them that were promoting it, whether they were trying to get you to become a consumer or an investor. There were a lot of other YouTubers making those videos back during that spring, maybe into the summer. Yet there's not a whole lot of videos warning about Voyager stock being a scam that are over a year old. So where were you? Where were you then, right? Because that may have helped some people, but not last month. All right, point number 4, Jeremy is actually a serious investor. And I know you may have had an impression like I did at first that maybe he's kind of a clown. Okay, back in the early days when YouTube started suggesting his stock investing videos to me, when he switched from the original financial education kind of content to stocks, YouTube started suggesting those kind of videos to me. And I watched one or two and I was like, who is this guy? This guy is an absolute clown. He gets all dressed up. He's got all these crazy ideas and he's got nicknames for every one of his stocks and his woo, holy smokes, and he's making it all hype and everything. And I thought, this guy is a knucklehead. I mean, I can't take him serious and I don't think I'm going to learn anything from him. Okay, so I totally understand if that's your impression of him. But after watching a handful of his videos, I had an idea about the kind of stocks that he invested in, and I noticed a year and a half, 2 years later, you know what? What this guy said about this particular stock made a lot of sense then, and it's kind of played out the way he expected. And I started to give him more of a chance. And it's not like every one of his videos is super in-depth, breaking down the numbers, doing fundamental analysis or even technical analysis. It's not like that, but Jeremy does some serious research. He puts in a lot of time and effort, and he does take his investing seriously. Now, he's not going to bat 1,000. None of us are. He's not going to make a winning trade every time. He's made some mistakes. Of course, I have, and you have too. If you're investing in single stocks, own it. You've made mistakes too. Maybe not gone all the way bankrupt, but we all end up making some poor decisions sometimes, either on the wrong companies or the wrong timing. But that doesn't mean that he's not a serious investor. And you may have never heard him talk about it. I've only heard him talk about it once or twice, and I don't think it was on his channel. I think it was when he was being interviewed by someone else, and they asked him, what's up with all the hype and the nickname Oobity Boober stock and all this stuff? And he said, you know, when I started YouTube, there wasn't really a stock investing niche. People weren't excited about investing and learning about, you know, building financial wealth and independence on YouTube. And he's like, I had to make it entertaining. I had to be exciting, because otherwise his topic, when you think about it, really, back then it would have been like starting a channel on watching paint dry, or learning how to file your taxes on your own. Like, who's signing up? Who's clicking on that? Nobody. So he had to become this persona that was entertaining and exciting. And yes, he turned himself into kind of a clown on purpose. It's actually pretty smart. And you know, as a financial YouTuber, I really appreciate him for that he created this whole category of people like you, that people that want to learn about investing, and they come to YouTube expecting to find that, and you want to be a serious investor. And people like me, for the most part, we don't have to be a clown. We don't have to put on the crazy hat and do crazy things to be super entertaining. Maybe I'd get more views if I was doing that, but it's not like 6 or 7 years ago where that's the only way you would have gotten any attention, any views, and built an audience. So I really appreciate him breaking the ice for us. All right, lesson number 5, Jeremy has earned everything that he has through dedication. Now, whether you agree with him on a particular stock pick or whatever, you know, think about where he's come from. He's very open and honest about his history, and he talks about, I think it was at the end of his high school years, he's working at CVS, and he remembers sitting in the break room, like, reading earnings reports, and people are making fun of him, Mr. Stock Investor guy. And he started buying stocks all the way back then. He worked for a gas station company, and then he realized he wasn't going to meet his dreams, his goals. He wasn't going to achieve what he wanted to unless he started his own business. And, you know, so many people out there are afraid to try. But he started his own business and built it up. And then when he found YouTube, he started realizing that that could be so much more. But it was risky, but he still made the leap, and he dedicated himself to building this YouTube business. And you got to give him credit for that. A lot of people want to look at him and say hype and scam artists and pump and dump. Well, think about it. Pump and dump doesn't work unless you dump. And here's a guy who believed in the stock so much that he held it all the way to bankruptcy. He's not making money off of pumping the stock and then watching it go to zero. Nope, that wasn't it. If it was just hype and pump and dump, he would have been out a long time ago. So right about now, you're probably thinking to yourself, those aren't the lessons I thought you were going to teach me, Jeff. I thought you were going to tell me about how I could have avoided a scam like Voyager and all that kind of thing. Really, honestly, I wanted this video to be more about the investing community and who it is that you listen to and you learn from and that you care about their opinions. And I'm not saying that you need to follow Jeremy in particular. I'm not saying that he has all the best ideas on which stocks to invest in. And you can make your own decision on that. It was really more about respecting people for what they have accomplished and the positive contributions that they've made. And then on the flip side, think about the people that you're spending your time, investing your time with, watching on YouTube to hear about stocks from. Are you really getting the value that you're asking for? Are you getting value that's worth your time? I really appreciate that you made the choice to spend some of your day with me on this video, and I really appreciate everyone who takes a moment and leaves a comment in the comment section of these videos and contributes to this community. Until next time, have a great day.